Fox 29, 10 o'clock news.
Wonder why our car insurance rates are so high? Well, we're about to show you one reason, and you're probably not going to like it. Fox 29's Michelle Williams shows us how it's happening.
This story took us from the streets of Philly to the streets of New York City, and that's where we found some little white lies could be costing you big bucks. Pennsylvania. Looks like tourists from the Commonwealth are flocking to the Big Apple. But they're not just sightseeing in Manhattan. They're checking out the less flashy neighborhoods. This is a long way from Fifth Avenue, but here they are, parked in Queens. And check this out. Looks like a Pennsylvania visitor's decided to spend his vacation advertising oil changes. Or maybe they're not tourists after all. This guy says he's a proud New Yorker.
I was born here, Manhattan.
So why does this car have Pennsylvania plates?
I just moved here from, I was in Pennsylvania not too long ago.
Huh? Then there's this guy. Are you from around here?
Yes.
Where do you live?
Rockaway, Queens.
How long you been a New Yorker?
Forever.
Forever? He's a self-proclaimed native New Yorker, driving around with PA plates. Just out of curiosity, why does your car have Pennsylvania plates?
Because I live in Pennsylvania now.
You live there now? You don't live here?
No.
I thought you said you lived here.
I live here also.
So what's going on here? Why are there so many PA plates in New York? It has something to do with saving money on car insurance.
And generally speaking, the premium's going to be hundreds or $1,000 less in Northeast Pennsylvania as opposed to, say, New York City.
Lee Apple manages the Fraud Squad, a special investigative unit for State Farm Insurance in Pennsylvania. He says this out-of-state plate trick is called rate evasion. In other words, insurance fraud.
They don't live here, and we have to pay out more in claims than we collect in premium because they live in somewhere else.
That's right. The experts tell us lots of drivers are cheating their insurance companies, lying about where they live so that they can drive at a cheaper rate. And that drives your rates up.
So you as a Pennsylvania citizen are going to pay more in your insurance rates because of that person. The insurance department in Pennsylvania estimated it costs about $12 to $15 million a year in claim payments that otherwise would not have been made.
So what's the New York-Pennsylvania connection? Well, it seems some New Yorkers don't want to pay New York prices. So they find a relative or even make up a bogus address in rural PA where the rates are lower. And they've gotten away with it until now.
There's communities in New York City where if you go on the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning, you'll see more Pennsylvania license plates than you'll see New York license plates.
Roy Miller is fighting fraud, too. He's executive director of the Insurance Fraud Prevention for Pennsylvania. Miller admits part of the problem started at PennDOT and tag agencies.
They weren't requiring the degree of identification that a lot of other states have required. And that made it easier for people to come in with forged documents.
But now it's Miller's job to make sure the state makes it tougher for people to cheat.
We have taken actions here in Pennsylvania that have made it more difficult for these folks to do this.
Back in New York, you're likely to hear any number of explanations for those out-of-state plates. Where do you live?
Actually, I'm in South Ozone.
South Ozone, Queens?
Yes.
How long have you been a New Yorker?
Oh, 22 years.
22 years? But your car, I happen to know, says PA plate.
Yes.
Why's that?
Well, it's my sister's. It's in her name.
Okay, but you drive it.
Exactly.
The state is getting more aggressive in prosecuting rate evasion. Just last month, 5 women in Allentown were arrested. The Lehigh County DA says they were lying to PennDOT to obtain Pennsylvania registrations, then selling them to New Yorkers and pocketing the commission. If convicted, they face 20 years. In Old City, Michelle Williams, Fox 29 News.
Well, people who register their cars out of state also cheat the state out of millions in registration fees and other revenue. Now, if you suspect insurance fraud, go to fox29.com, click on news links for the numbers to call.